Yo, what's up guys? It's Daigen here, ready to bring some more Genshin Impact content, and today we're going to be doing something that we did for Honkai, but we didn't do for Genshin yet. I said I wanted to wait until the game officially released because I knew people were going to be making more of these. I'm talking about live wallpapers for Genshin Impact. I want to talk about my top 10 live wallpapers for Genshin Impact within Wallpaper Engine. Let's go and start off with my number 10 spot for Genshin Impact Live Wallpapers. Now, there are quite a few good live wallpapers out there now, so this was a very hard top 10 to make. Also got some honorable mentions in here that we're going to be showcasing towards the end, but let's talk about this one first. This is the Xiangling one. Now, this one is pretty nice. I do like the picture that the person used. They got some nice animated effects. The eyes are moving. Then you have like the buff icons. You see they're going up. They have a nice particle effect going from the bottom left to the top right of the screen, which is nice. They do got the animation going on the like, I guess, the little bell over there. Now, there is some effects that I'm not a big fan of. One is like this cheap like wavy effect to like simulate like animated stuff. This one uses that quite a bit, as you can see during the cloth down there with the bell. It sort of uses it, and in the hair to try to make the hair move, it uses like the wavy effect. I'm not a big fan of that, but overall this is a pretty nice wallpaper. Just the wallpaper by itself, you know, when you take a wallpaper already that's really good and you animate it, just makes it even better. So the wallpaper itself already gets some pretty good points. That's why it's even on this list. And yeah, don't look that bad. So made it on the 10th spot. All right, so this is the 9th one. This is going to be the Mona one. This one actually is not that bad either. So this one is going to have some nice water effects, as you can see for the animations right there. Mona herself is actually animated as well, but not too much. You can see, I think there's like a very slight breathing, but you can barely see it. The hair, once again, is using that wave effect that I'm not too fond of. Now, the wave effect is actually being used on the symbol that she's sitting on. I believe that's like the water sigil right there, but that actually looks good because obviously it's water, so a wavy effect right there isn't bad. Of course, her eyes are blinking as well. I wish there were probably some animation over here on like the flowers over here possibly, but there's not. That would probably like solidify a little bit more. I love when like the background is cohesive with the foreground, as far as like everything being animated all together. Just those not moving where everything is moving kind of just throws it off a little bit, but overall it's not bad. I just wish she had a little bit more animation to her to bring her to life a little bit more, but still not a bad wallpaper. I like this one a lot. Coming up in the 8th spot is this cute Lumine one. This one is actually really good too. I like it a lot, just as the wallpaper itself, not just the animation, but just the wallpaper, just very pretty. I just like it. They did use some of the wave effect. It's very hard to see the wave effects in this one. So the leaves and yeah, just the leaves on the branches are slightly doing the wave effect. You can sort of see the wave effect for the foreground grass and just the grass in general, but on the it's only on like the foreground grass. The grass in like in the background is actually just using like a left right animation, which is actually very subtle and it looks very nice over there. I don't think it's actually using the wave for that, but still overall it looks pretty nice. I wish there was more animation on Lumine herself. Her eyes do blink, as you can see, her eyes will blink, but besides that there's nothing else she's doing. I wish like the drape from her like cape or whatever would, like, you know, blow in the wind a little bit, or maybe she kick her legs a little bit. That would be pretty good. But yeah, I just wish there was more animation for her. Unfortunately it's not, but the lead particle effect is also pretty nice. I mean, it goes well with the actual theme of the wallpaper, so not bad itself. Anyway, like I said, overall this thing is already a pretty wallpaper, and just animated and slightly just makes it that much better. So that's why this one definitely made it on the list. So Noelle coming in at 7th place. This one's actually pretty good as far as the amount of animation on the character itself. Now you can see her eyes are moving. You can see the subtle breathing of her, which sort of like, you know, make her breast bounce up and down. You can see that she's lifting up the dress. You can see that along with the hands, and the motion is in sync with the lifting of the dress. Overall, very nice as far as the animation on the character. Now, the only reason why this isn't actually as high up as it possibly could be is they didn't really do anything with the background. As you can see, the background is just, it's just a standard picture of like, I don't know, some like cathedral or whatever. I would have liked to see like maybe like the chandeliers probably like swaying in the background a little bit. They could have added like some effects, like some subtle, because they already got like, you see the windows have like light coming through them. They could have played off that effect and probably gave it some lighting from like the subtle lighting shining on her, or maybe, I don't know, like some dust particle effects or whatever through the lighting. If they did that, which would be pretty good. Just some type of other effects, you know, that makes the background stand out a little bit too, instead of just the character being the only thing that's animated. So like I said, I like to see cohesive work as far as the character working with the background. When all of that's synced, I think that makes the best 2D live wallpapers. But this one isn't that bad as well, and I know a lot of people like Noelle, so there's this one. Coming in at 6th place is this Sucrose one. Now, the animation on this is absolutely fantastic. Everything on the character is like fully animated, from the cape to the hair, her eyes, individually animated. It's not using any wave effects. Even the arm is animated. Both of the arms, you can see her arm, the one holding the like potion or whatever, and then her other free hand is also animated. They have the nice sigil coming out in the background, the symbol for win in the background animated on her. You can see the Chinese logo for Genshin is actually animated in the top right. That's actually a cool detail as well. And her little vision actually like glows sometimes too, which I think is also a nice detail. The only thing about this is they didn't really do anything with the background. Now, typically when you have pictures like this, they typically like take a PNG and then they animate it, so don't really have anything really to work with. Really, when it's already a cohesive picture, then they can like animate everything in the picture. But I think they just took a PNG and they did the best they could with it. I think they used like a Minecraft background and like blurred it out and like put her in the background of it. It still don't look bad. It's just, you know, if it was a full picture, I think it would look better, but unfortunately they didn't have a full picture to go with, so they did the best they could with what they had. So it's still not bad. It's just, you know, not a complete cohesive piece. And putting this the vision symbol in the background is also a very nice touch as well. Alright, so a very subtle Paimon one actually made it on this list. I think the one on this list very good. So this one's also a PNG, but instead of using like a pre-made background like the other one and like blurring out, they actually just did something very subtle, which I think just works out a little bit better. So they took a very like this standard gradient blue background. They put the Genshin logo there. I wish the Genshin logo was like animated like the other one. That would make it even better. But then they put this like nice, like, I don't know, bubble particle effect on the screen as well, as you can see. Then you have Paimon herself actually fully animated. The hair is on his own animation. The arms are on their own animation, including the legs and her eyes. Everything looks nice. And the cape as well. The cape as well. Everything's very nice as far as the animations for Paimon herself. Everything seems to be in sync. Nothing seems off. So very, very good wallpaper. I just, you know, they once again only had a PNG to go off of, so they couldn't have an official background to like animate itself, but they did the best they could, and I appreciate the effort of like trying to like, you know, do something with the background rather than have nothing go on in the background. I think it makes for a nice subtle piece overall, rather than just sticking the character in a background that already pre-exists. Okay, so I'm not gonna lie, this one is one of my personal favorites. Lumine coming in 4th place. I love this one just off the artwork alone. It looks so damn pretty. I truly love this one. Just the impactfulness of it. So you have Lumine laying in the water, and then you have her brother either in the water, as you can see, like a reflection like falling down. This reminds me of like some Kingdom Hearts stuff. It looks really cool. I definitely like it. As far as animation, they do use the wave effect here. As you can see, it's actually on the water. Once again, if it's on water, it's totally fine because it makes sense for it to be on water. It looks very natural and is a very easy way to animate water. As far as herself, she has a very subtle breathing technique. You can see her like chest bounce up and down. Of course, her eyes blink as well. Her legs also move, and they're on different animation cycles. They're not going up and down at the same time. I kind of like that. It's like very subtle like difference there. And you can see the drape of her like cloth in the background sort of moving as well. I don't know if that's actually using the wave effect. I don't really know. But just the fact that it's animated as well, I definitely like that. Things that I would have liked to see animated a little bit more, possibly the hair in the background is like laying in the water. Maybe that was like swaying a little bit. I don't know. Even probably the wave effect there probably would have been okay. I don't know. Just to give it a little bit more detail. And then probably like I want to see the flowers in her hair like sort of move a little bit. I think that'd been pretty cool. Maybe her hand that's in the water a little bit. That would have been a little bit hard though, considering that her fingers are like sort of like under the water. So they would have to like animate all of that, which that would be a kind of a lot of work at that point to try to sync all of that up. But yeah, overall it's not a bad piece. And like, once again, I'm just I may be a little bit biased on this one just because of the impactfulness of the artwork itself that they're already using. Very nice colors overall. Oh man, just look at the hair. Look at the colors in the eye. I just really like this one overall. But yes, this is the 4th place one, Illuminate. Now we're going to be getting into our top 3 Genshin Impact Live Wallpapers. Okay, so this one was hard to pick. It was a choice between this one and the next one. Very hard to choose between this one. But I think this one deserves 3rd place just because I don't think that they did a really good job with this. I gotta say, they really did a good job with this considering the art style. Now, when it comes to doing these live wallpapers, it's very hard to animate some of these things, especially when they use like a more painterly style. So what they had, they did a very good job. They animated the wings, as you can see. They had the head bobbing a little bit. They actually added some subtle breath to Dvalin himself, as you can see. That's actually pretty cool. You can see Venti floating there as well. There's these like particle effects that are coming from the screen, very subtle particle effects that are coming from the bottom left going up to the top right. I think that just adds a nice, just, you know, extra layer to it. And then there's this extra particle effect that's coming from the holy lyre that Venti is holding. I think that's very nice as well, as he has like a subtle glow to it as well too. I wish the glow effect played, I think it only plays like once when it's like first opening up. There's like the zoom effect to where the screen like sort of like zooms in over to them. I think it like plays like definitely right there, but don't play like any other time, which is unfortunate because it's actually a pretty cool effect. But yeah, you can see Dvalin's like claw hand is actually moving on a separate like interval from everything else, and overall just, you know, it got a nice flow to it. I definitely like the flow to it. You see the cape from Venti moving up and down as well, along with the hair individually moving. So very nice animation here, especially since they had to go with a painterly style to use this for. All right, so some of you guys may call me biased for this one. I mean, you guys know I love Mona by now, but hear me out. I think this one deserves a 2nd place just purely off the animation of the character alone. There's so much detail here as far as everything individually animated, nothing using wave effects and whatnot. So let's break this down. So you have the cloth already animating on its own timer. You have her leg that's lifted up, animating as well as her hair. Then you have the hat have movement as well. Both arms are animating as well on different timers. And you have the subtle breathing that's also happening. That's also like sort of like elevating her breasts up and down, as you can see. That's like sort of with the breathing, there's so much happening, as well as her eyes blinking, and then the subtle movement of her bangs as well. There's so much movement in this character, it is ridiculous. They did a very fantastic job at bringing this animated character to life. Now, as far as the background is not the best, you know, obviously, I guess once again, they had just the PNG to work with. So they made a subtle background that just has this nice purple gradient. And then they used the logo, had it spinning around, and put the Genshin Impact logo that goes white and black. It's okay, it's not the best, but just the character alone, I just really like that. I think it brings it out a lot. I think it just overall makes it a very good wallpaper. But let me know which one you think is better between this one and the Venti one. Like I said, I like them both. This is just very cool. Now we're going to move on to our honorable mentions before we get into our top 1 Genshin Impact 2D live wallpaper. And last but not least is this crazy Noelle one. Now this one is absolutely insane. And now there's a second one that I do want to show you guys that I wish they just combined both of the elements together to make this even better. I will show you that in just a second, but let's talk about what's already here. First off, you have the particle effect going from the bottom left of the screen to the bottom right, with the like embers that are coming from all this debris. Then you have the actual debris flowing everywhere around. That's actually a nice effect too. Then you have Noelle herself. She's not that animated, but you do have the back ribbon animated, as well as some of her dress animated as well. There's no like swaying of the sword or like swaying of the hair that much. It's a very subtle sway of the hair for the like loose hair that's on the right side of her head. That's swaying a little bit, but nothing too much crazy right there. But what they did for the rest of it, they already did a lot of animation here. Let's talk about the rest. As you guys can already tell by now that the Ruin Guards and the Ruin Hunter are actually animated, which is insane. The arms are like moving up and down. He has a breathing effect to him. The one on the right, the one on the left is actually animating as well. You can see the subtle movement of the arms over there, and the one in the middle is actually bobbing up and down. He's like floating, levitating. He has a very subtle up and down motion as well. There's also the flashing of the lights within the eye, as you can see. I think the flashing in the eye is only happening in the middle window, but then they also have these like lens flares you can see sort of hovering around, like these red and green lens flares at the top middle of the screen. I think that's supposed to be like symbolizing like, you know, they're about to shoot or whatever, which is pretty cool. That's like, you know, you can see that around. That's actually a pretty cool effect. And then I don't know if you guys can see it. It is pretty noticeable though. This subtle wind effect that is happening just throughout the screen overall. The subtle wind effect that's going from the left of the screen to the right of the screen. Nice effect overall, just bringing this to a believable standard of like, you know, the embers and the debris are like being carried over in that direction. They did a very fantastic job with this. But now, like I said, I do want to show you guys the other one that's very similar to this that someone did, that I wish had some of this elements in this one to make it even better. So this is it right here. So once again, they have like the flashing of the eyes. I think the flashing of the eyes is actually pretty cool. I would like that. And then these like little fire embers right here, as you can see, would be pretty nice. They also have like some debris thing happening for theirs as well. I think this debris thing can actually be used inside of the one that we already have. I think it'll be very believable, and I don't think it'll break up anything. It's very nice. You see like debris flying all of these different directions or whatever, and then there's like sometimes debris that just comes across the screen from the top right all the way to the bottom left. That happens. Now this shine effect, I'm not a big fan of that. I wish the shine effect would, like, I don't know, either just be gone or definitely make it more subtle in order to like be able to see Noelle. But overall, this one isn't like the better. I like the other one personally better just because there's more animation. As you see, the guards aren't actually animated here. Not even Noelle. It's just they added some effects here. But this one has all the animations. I just want some of the stuff that's in that one in this one, and that would make it even better. But by all means, this is already just about a perfect wallpaper. Anyway, that is my top 10 live 2D wallpapers for Genshin Impact. Let me know which one you like the best. As always, I will put in the links down in the description below so you can download these yourself. Once again, these are going to be from Wallpaper Engine on Steam, so you got to have that if you want to download these. But yeah, they're awesome, guys. I hope you enjoy them, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Anyway, if you like anything I had to say today, drop me a like. I greatly appreciate it. And if you want to hear more from me, follow me on my socials. Also, don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you know the next video goes live. As always, my name is Daikin, and I'll see you next time. Signing out.